learners, welcome to the another session of environmental impact assessment. Today we are going to discuss about estimation of transportation noise, that means particularly the noise that is coming from the transportation sector. So before going into the details of this one, we have to recapitulate whatever we have learnt in the previous session. Any noise prediction that requires information about the sound power of the source or the sound pressure due to the sources at a reference distance. So the level of noise that is received from any source that depends not only on the sound power frequency, or otherwise we can say that it is a frequency spectrum of the source, but on the type and size of the source, the distance between the source and receptor, the intervening topography and climate conditions, and the location of the receptor. So these are the points we have to consider between the noise. So the consideration also should be given to whether the predictions are intended to give internal or external levels. If we will give the external levels which are to be predicted, that means it should be decided whether they are the levels at a building facade, or we can say that those free from the influence of vertical reflecting surfaces near to the receptors. So frequently this will be determined by the requirements of any formal modeling or assessment methods that may apply to situations which are being appraised. So with this previous knowledge, dear learner, today we are going to discuss about estimation of transportation noise. How to estimate transportation noise? Undoubtedly a heavy traffic congestion, especially in urban cities, urban setup, it is a big hindrance and also a disadvantage. Traffic congestion that is significantly increases external costs which are related to time loss. So it has a negative impact on health also. So due to the increased travel time, the stress increases and also the arterial pressure increases. So the driver's ability to respond properly, that definitely decreases, and in consequences there is a safety. So these are the factors which involved in the transportation sectors. So although these effects of congestion which resulting from excessive traffic, poor traffic management and sometimes drivers' errors are difficult to measure, there are many efforts are made to improve traffic flow, especially in urban areas. Congestion is a result of improper traffic management and objective overcapacity. It is also a strong determinant of pollution dispersion and also air pollution levels we have experienced. So transportation noise is the main source of environmental noise pollution like road traffic or railway traffic and also air traffic. There is a general rule. There is a larger and heavier vehicles that emit more noise than smaller and lighter vehicles. So some exceptions are there, that means helicopters and 2 and 3 wheelers, road vehicles, and also the noise of road vehicle is mainly generated from the engine and also from frictional contact between the vehicle and the ground and air. So these are some of the elements which can propagate. And in general, road contact noise that exceeds engine noise at speeds higher than 60 km/h. So the physical principle that is responsible for generating noise from the tire road contact, that is less well understood. That means it is not properly studied. So the sound pressure level from traffic that can be predicted from the traffic flow rate, the speed of the vehicles, and also the proportion of heavy vehicles and the nature of the road surface. Special problems that definitely will arise in areas where the traffic movements involve a change in engine speed and power, like traffic lights, hills, and also some intersecting roads. Sometimes it may be a topography and meteorological conditions and low background levels which are unfavorable, like mountain areas. And railway noise depends primarily on the speed of the train, but variations are present depending upon the type of engine, type of wagons and also rails and their foundations and also the roughness of wheels and rails. So it is very interesting to know that small radius curves in the track, like they may occur for the urban trains, which can lead to very high levels of high frequency sound, is known as the wheel squeal. So noise that can be generated in stations because of the running engines, whistles and also the loudspeakers, and in marshalling yards because of the shunting operations. So the introduction of high speed trains that has been created special noise problems with sudden but not impulsive that rises in noise. At speeds greater than 250 kilometers per hour, the proportion of high frequency sound energy that increases and the sound can be perceived as similar to that of overflying jet aircraft. Spatial problems are sometimes we can consider special problems that can arise in areas close to tunnels, in valleys or in areas where the ground conditions that help to generate vibrations. If we will consider the long distance propagation of noise from high speed trains, that will constitute a problem in the future if or otherwise sometimes environmental friendly railway systems which are expanded. Aircraft operations that generate substantial noise in the vicinity of both commercial and then military airports. And aircraft takeoffs and are also known as they produce intense noise and like vibration as well as the rattle sound sometimes. So the landing procedures, they have also the substantial noise in long low altitudes flighting corridors. So the noise is produced by the landing gear and also automatic power regulation and also when reverse thrust is applied, all for safety reasons only. But in general, larger and heavier aircraft produce more noise than lighter aircraft. So the main mechanism of noise generation in the early turbojet powered aircraft was the turbulence, which is created by the jet exhaust that mixing with the surrounding air. So this noise source has been significantly reduced in modern high bypass ratio turbofan engines that is surrounded the high velocity jet exhaust with lower velocity airflow which is generated by the fan. So the fan itself can be a significant noise source, particularly during landing and also taxiing operations. So multi-bladed turboprop engines that can produce relatively high levels of tonal noise. So the sound pressure level from aircraft is typically we can say that predicted from the number of aircrafts and the type of airplanes and also their flight paths and the proportions of takeoffs and landings and the atmospheric conditions. So severe noise problems also sometimes may arise at airports hosting many helicopters or smaller aircraft which is used for the private business, flying, training and sometimes it is a leisure purposes. Special noise problems may also arise inside airplanes because of the vibration. So the noise emission from future superjets is of course unknown. So a sonic boom that consists of a shock wave in the air which is generated by an aircraft when it flies at a speed slightly greater than the local speed of sound. So an aircraft in supersonic flight that trails a sonic boom that can be heard up to 50 kilometers on either side of the ground track, that is depending upon the flight altitude and also the size of the aircraft. So a sonic boom that can be heard as a loud double boom sound. At high intensity it can damage property. That means the noise from the military airfields may present particular problems and also compared to civil airports. For example, when used for nighttime flying, for training interrupted landings and also takeoffs, that means touch and go, or otherwise for low altitude flying. In certain instances, that means like wars or specific military activities, they will introduce other intense noise pollution from heavy vehicles like tankers, helicopters, and also small and large firearms. So there are 5 types of transportation noise estimation. The first one is internal combustion engine noise prediction. So in this, when the internal combustion engine is working, it generates a lot of noise in the surrounding environment. So noise can disturb people's daily life, of course, and even endangers people's health. So noise problem has becoming a growing concern of a society. When people are exposed to noise for a long time, it can cause insomnia, cardiovascular diseases, and also sometimes death. The Global Legislative Committee is developing strict regulations to make ships, cars, and also other transportation vehicles quieter. However, in the practical engineering applications, due to the sensor cost and installation conditions, generally only fewer sensors can be used. So the multi-channel algorithm is limited in practical engineering applications. So many scientists begin to study the single channel algorithm to separate noise sources. For example, some scientists, that is a Zhu et al., they used an empirical mode decomposition EMD, and it is independent component analysis methods to separate the combustion excitation signal and the piston slap signal. Another mode is the ensemble empirical mode decomposition, that is EEMD, which is a noise assisted data analysis method that is adaptively decomposes signals which are based on the local characteristics of signals. So all complex signals which are composed of multiple single intrinsic mode functions, that is IMF, and each IMF is independent. So now this EEMD that makes noise to cancel each other by continuously superimposing and then white Gaussian noises on input signal. So in this way, this method can decompose different scales or trend components that really exist in data time series step by step and generate some data sequences with the same characteristic scale size, and additional noise which are gradually eliminated one by one, and also final result of denoising is the signal itself, because it is only durable and stable part of the EEMD. And the next one is the robust ICA method to separate to the combustion noise and then piston slap noise and exhaust noise of gasoline engines. That is, they are utilizing EEMD coherent power spectrum analysis and improved analytic hierarchy process method to identify the noise sources of internal combustion engines. And also in some cases, it is employed the EEMD and also generalized transform methods to separate the combustion noise, piston slap noise as well as gear noise. And the second method we have to look into is exhaust and intake noise prediction. So in these intake and exhaust noises, which are most significant sources of exterior vehicle noise. So the intake and exhaust operating noise systems, they are again divided as primary noise sources, and in these we can also see that is a pressure fluctuations in the many folds, and also its propagation to the exhaust tailpipe or intake orifice is which is radiated as noise, and it is caused by the primary noise source, that is being the unsteady mass flow through the valves. So the system which is responsible for engine breathing or primary noise is similar, as it is suitably harnessed to progress the volumetric efficiency of the engine by wave action tuning. And the secondary noise sources, that is the flow motion through the intake and exhaust systems, which are responsible for secondary noise sources. So this self-induced noise is normally we can call it as a flow noise. So the structure radiated sound, that means shell noise from the intake or exhaust tailpipes, which are energized by either primary or secondary noise sources. And aerodynamic noise, that is consists of both the classes, that is a breathing and the flow noise. And also some other portion is that tire, or otherwise we can say that road noise prediction. So that means the recognition of road noise is considered as one of the major environmental pollutions what we have learnt. But the consequences, it leads to the advancement in accurate noise prediction model that enables to predict the traffic noise and that recognize common variables like traffic flow, and then sometimes the vehicle per hour, and also traffic speed, and also the composition in terms of fraction of heavy vehicle and road gradient, and also traffic. And then aerodynamic noise production. And then aerodynamic noise prediction, that means the function of ratio of pressure, that means P1 upon P2, and also mass flow rate that across the valve is the aerodynamic noise generation. So the point at which sonic speed is reached in the valve vena contracta is a function of the valve design and its pressure recovery coefficient, and this is combined with the ratio of upstream to downstream absolute pressure. So these valves are said to be choked when sonic velocity reaches at the vena contracta. By keeping upstream pressure constant, if the ratio of pressure that increases, there is no increase in their capacity. Subsonic flows that also produce high noise levels, but usually highest noise level sources which are choked valves. So the considerable noise starting at pipe velocities of approximately 0.4 to 1.0 sonic is generated by the velocity of the flow in downstream pipes. So here we have to consider vapor controls also. That means vapor control, we can also say that noisy gas valves that can have, that is a trim wear and then control instabilities with acoustically induced and turbulence induced vibration damage. So at very high cycle rates, that is 1000 to 10,000 CPS, that is a vibration related stress can be produced by the high intensity noise. While valve services life can be drastically reduced by the noise induced damage, and also in some cases it may be responsible for valve or piping failures quickly in minutes or the hours. And also we have to see that brake noise prediction. So brake noise prediction has been considered to the major concern to the manufacturers of vehicles, that has been an issue of concern to vehicle manufacturers, because brake noise that can be categorized into again 4 basic categories. First one is brake sequel, that is it has a tonal character, that is components above 1000 Hertz or otherwise it can be exceeds that limit. And then brake moan, that means it occurs at moderate speed and it is also characterized by the 100 Hertz frequency components. And the third one is brake creep groan. That means it is characterized by the frequency components of approximately 100 Hertz and it occurs at the speed less than the walking pace. And the fourth one is brake judder. So it is characterized by the frequency components about 10 Hertz, which is the speed less than the walking pace. So these all four categories of brake noises are because of the pairing of friction surfaces at the rotor disc and also the pad. So the disc and the pads which and also the caliper, 3 of them which are assembly are the brake components that radiates brake sequel noise. So in the case of brake judder, moan and creep groan, the resonant frequencies of the brake compounds are usually so high. That means it is less than 1000 to 2000 Hertz, you can imagine that. So that the vehicle suspensions act as a resonating system. So with all these specifications, so we have to understand that there are so many methods which are in practice for the noise impact, noise as well as vibration. So learner, we have to conclude here that The development of an ecologically efficient transport system is most important with an aim to reduce the environmental degradation that is caused by the transport related noise and pollution. So, the awareness of the dangers which are posed by the harmful emissions and also noise that resulting from the traffic volumes which are caused by the rapid development of motorization increases, and regulations which are meaningful and strict in that area, and also tends that which are tighten up the rules. Therefore, when planning the development of transportation system, total cost of transport activities must be supplemented by the external cost, of course, for the negative environmental effects. So, the internalization of external costs of transport must be a functional of the function as well as the fundamental aspect of the transport policies. With the help of tools for traffic modeling and also prediction and methods for the estimation of harmful emissions and noise, the assessment of environmental impact of the transport can be included in the investment and planning processes. I hope you must have benefited with this session. In the next session, we will come up with some other analysis of environmental impact analysis. Thank you.